That's perfect.
Hi guys, it's Becky and Steven with Home Handy. This week we have a really cool, kind of small project to show you guys. We are going to be replacing some tile, just a small little area of tile on a backsplash in a kitchen. Here's a before, and then we'll show you the steps as we go along. I have to say I'm a huge dork because I'm so excited to use our new wet saw, and also I'm a total novice at this. I know how to do a lot of stuff, but I don't know how to do tile really. So I'm gonna be learning something new from my main man over here, Steven, today. I'm very excited. Okay, so here's a before, and you can see their tile is already done up top, but we are going to be coming through and fixing, patching up these little pieces of drywall that are messed up, and then we will install the new tile. And then this is what it looks like from back here. Such a beautiful kitchen. Can't wait to have it done. So here's Steven, the tile master. So what are we doing over here, Steven? What are you using?
We're just using some 20-minute mud. And see these deep holes? You don't want to try and fill them all at once. You can fill them, let them dry, come back with your finished coat, make it look good, but you want to really let it dry. So I know it says 20-minute mud, but you might want to give it a good half hour or so before you come trying to press on it.
Okay, and so we figured out the height of the tile to fill in here is 4 inches. So we're just using a utility knife to cut that off and then laying it out upside down to make sure it fits. So you can see all that right there.
We want to be right here. So what we're gonna do is cut this one here, this one here, this one. Make sure you don't push all the way down when you're doing this on somebody's nice countertop, because you don't want to scratch it. Fairly pliable. And that will be our last whole piece. Now
right.
These will be added and have to be cut here to match this border line.
So Steven, you were commenting earlier about this particular type of tile job. So what is this one like for us, for you, for us?
A best case, since obviously Becky stated in the other video, she's not an experienced tile setter. This is probably the best case job as a novice or beginner tiler. To just have it simple, straight, there's no mosaics, there's no patterns or angles to try and figure out. So I think it'll go really smooth.
Wet saw, it's very exciting. This thing is a beast, and we're super stoked to be using it for the first time today. Okay, so Steven's gonna give me my little tutorial here, and so I wanted you to be able to see what I see. And I've used every other kind of tool on the planet, but we're gonna kind of take this, make it really beginner friendly in case anybody else is learning.
All right, so first thing you need to know about a wet saw is there's no real way you can lose a phalange in this situation. The blade is not like a wood saw blade. There's no teeth, it's just a flat surface, so it'll burn a little bit if you get your finger in there.
These are, it's a diamond cut,
yes,
which is specific for cutting the type of material we're using.
Yes, which is, diamond blades are just awesome because they're just so universal on tiles. So this, Becky, is the best way. So you want to set it where your blade is. This is your blade line.
Let me come over here.
This side is where your cut is going to be existing. So you want to make sure you line these up just like so to run along. So you'll cut this edge here. Yes, ma'am.
So we want to start that on this side of the blade.
Yes, ma'am.
And then we're going to cut just straight through.
Straight through. But
okay,
you're going to have, I'll do the first one, you do the next one. Ready?
Okay.
set this down here.
Make sure you got your guard on.
Blade. See the water coming out. You want to just go slow. Hold the piece you are cutting so it doesn't jog on you. And then you just go slow. Let the blade do the work. And you see how smooth and how clean that cut is from the wet saw. Now if we were to try using an angle grinder or any other kind of tool to cut that, like they have little bite pliers that'll snap that off, you really run the risk of having those blowouts on the edge. And we don't want that. Becky's first time cutting a tile with a wet saw.
So it's totally counterintuitive because Steven's saying that my fingers need to be really close to the blade. And as he said, it won't cut your fingers. But if you're using a table saw, this is not how you do this.
Right.
Okay? So it's a little counterintuitive, but
you only want to be so close and hold it so firmly because you're cutting such a small piece of tile.
Right. So here we go.
Nice and slow, and let the blade do the work.
It was awesome.
Home handy, guys.
So now, Steven, I've got this last little piece here, and I'm nervous about that because it's sort of willy-nilly here.
Yes, this is a very delicate piece to cut, only because there's no mesh past this point. So you want to go real slow so that you don't go and blow out your bottom edge when the blade exits.
Kind of tickly.
Let the blade eat its way through. There you go.
Look at perfect. Perfect. Yay! Home handy. Okay, so we had a big shift in the project. So Steven and I got some of the tiles cut and put on the wall. The clients were not thrilled about the particular tile. So in my opinion, I think they came up with a much better idea. It's super cool. It really connects the backsplash with the rest of the kitchen, and I'm gonna show you why. Okay, so if you recall, this is the old tile, and then this is the area that Steven repaired yesterday on the drywall. And if you step back and look into the kitchen, you'll see this gorgeous tile on the front of the island here. It's so beautiful. So the idea that the homeowners had, I thought was really cool. And that is to keep this sort of the smaller tiles up above. And then underneath, we're gonna use the same tiles that are on the island. Pretty cool idea, right? So Steven has already laid out all of those new tiles that we're gonna be using. And he is using the world's smallest trowel ever, huh, Steven? And it's working great. And we'll show you progress as we move along. All right, the very first layer of tiles is on, and Steven's outside right now. He's going to be cutting this final piece here that sort of backs up to where the stove meets into the wall. And he'll get that in, and then we'll cut that tiny piece out and get that in. Okay, the right-hand section is done and ready for grout tomorrow. And now, Steven's moving over to section 2. Perfect fit. So in this last step, what are we doing?
We're mixing grout.
Mixing grout. Sounds
So we
like
can put it in the cracks.
put it in the cracks. All right.
All right, so we got a grout, we got a mixing drill, we got a bucket of water, handy dandy water sponge, and our bucket of grout to mix in.
Okay. And
All
what
right.
kind of consistency are we going for?
We are going for, I can show you better than I can tell you, consistency.
Okie dokie. So let's get to this.
So just add the water in there, and then low speed. I said low speed. Definitely want to do this outside. As you can see, very dusty.
Looks like you're mixing up a volcano over there.
I am.
All right. So we're there.
We're
We're
there.
all right. So
So the way I test my consistency, I just get a scoop of it on my little trial, my little mixer, and you see how it's not just sliding off. That's perfect. We're ready to make a mess.
are we ready to make a mess? Heck yeah, we're ready to make a mess.
We're gonna make a mess. And you want to push and slide, push and slide. Get it in them corners. Go up, slide. Now you see why I picked that consistency is because it's not running, it's not dripping out of the corners, it's not falling. You know, it's perfect.
It's perfect. So we wait until all of it kind of dries,
You kinda
then we
let
go.
it haze a little bit. Just let it haze a little bit. Start to dry just ever so slightly. You don't want it to completely dry because then you're not getting it off there without a fight.
All right, now we're moving over to the other side here.
One swipe of actually just putting on is not going to fill your grout lines the way they should be filled. So you want to make sure you're going layers, you know, and really pushing it in. As you notice, I'm going over the few spots a few times. I want to make sure that it's really pushing in into the back, so it's really going to hold these tiles, you know, not just look good. There's a purpose to the grout. Fairly dry sponge. Take your swipes, get in your corner. See that? If you want to, you can use your finger like it's caulk.
Oh.
And get in that corner, flip it. Then you want to just take your sponge and rinse it out. It's really wet. Hence why you keep a bucket of water next to you. And you just go back over real lightly. You don't want to push. I'm not pushing, I'm just wiping. Because if you push, you're going to dig into your grout lines and remove all the grout you just put in there.
That's not a good idea,
You
is it?
don't want to do that. So you can go either direction. Just remember, don't push.
All right, we're gonna come back and we'll have a word from our not sponsors, meaning us, and give you the final reveal.
She says where the camera is every time.
Every single time I point it out, it's
glitching
right there.
I'm gonna stare at your eyeball now.
Guys, we're done. It was such an awesome, quick project. Steven, you kick butt. Thanks so much. It is time for the big reveal. Remember, if you ever need us, give us a call, 303-531-1553, and our website is right there. And if you like the video, please like and subscribe. Okay, here's the big reveal. And also, Steven's gonna show you something he's super stoked about. And here's the final results. I'm gonna get close. You see that little spot on the left-hand side? That's just unfinished on the wall. That'll get painted pretty soon. And then this is all of the grout and those brand new tiles. Looks amazing. Perfect seam right up to the old tile behind the stove there. Good job, Steven. And then this is the other seam, and then going straight across. Absolutely perfect. And then that little brown spot is just from where the old trim was, and the owners are gonna have, go ahead and get that painted as well. And then Steven wants to show you something he's very excited about. All right, he's gonna show you how level his masterpiece is. So if you look and see, right on the bubble, absolutely perfectly level, especially considering the previous tile that was put on not by us was not at all level. Steven, what do you think?
It was fun.
It was so fun. All right, so last show again. Here we go. And we just want to say a big thanks to you guys for always tuning in, and we'll see you again soon.
Oh, Andy.